Hello everyone, CDNet here with another update from the Avalanche ecosystem. And today is a little bit of a special one because, as you may or may not know, depending on how long you've been following this channel, we're actually coming up on the 1-year anniversary of this channel. And 1 year ago, on the 17th of February, I started my YouTube journey with this video. Farm PNG without the AVAX Ethereum bridge, save hundreds in Ethereum gas fees by using this method instead. Basically, at the time, we had a different bridge which was a bit more clunky to use. It would take a lot more Ethereum gas fees in order to get something over. It was kind of slow. People got panicky about it. So I made a video just to show oh, you can actually just buy AVAX and then move that to Pangolin and then sell it for whatever you want to eat, for example. Because it was something that was in demand at the time. The video got very good responses, very nice comments, and that's kind of what started my journey. So now also I think it's very cool that I am sort of celebrating this 1-year anniversary together with Pangolin, because Pangolin is doing a complete new update. They're doing a brand update, the entire UI is different. It is honestly quite cool. I think they've really put a lot of thought and effort into this. And they asked me to make a little update to walk you through all these new features. The UI is a bit different than you may be used to from the standard DEX. But of course the DEX aspect kind of largely works the same, but it's got a lot of cool features extra. And the video is not sponsored, but they did send me a Pangolin hoodie and I cannot see myself, so I hope that's visible. They are very comfortable and I am very biased towards anyone who sends me any swag. So keep that in mind. But no, in all honesty, I think we're just gonna focus on the utility, focus on the new features. And yeah, let's get into it. Do keep in mind though that I am recording this in a beta version. It is live on the mainnet, so anything that happens here is fully real. But there may be some small UI bugs somewhere. Just keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure that all of those, or at least most of those, will be fixed by its launch on Tuesday, which is also when this video is supposed to come out. So let's get into it, starting with the dashboard. As you can see, I'm already connected with my wallet, with my YouTube wallet. And the first thing you'll notice is that on the dashboard, you can actually see your portfolio value on multiple chains. So it's not just getting your information from Avalanche, it's also getting it from Ethereum. You can see my portfolio balance. This is my YouTube wallet, but it's also kind of my hot wallet, so it's a bit of a mess. Yeah, anyway, but you can see where I'm focused. I think it's quite an advanced feature because, it contains your coins, so of course anything that's actually in your wallet, but also pools and unclaimed rewards. I'm not completely sure where it gets this information from, whether it's using DBank or its own solution. But it looks accurate to me just based on first glance. I know this is my Paraswap airdrop. This is probably some leftover gas fees I have on these chains, probably as a result of ELK, I would say. And Avalanche. I know this contains SEFA. I think this also contains some Krabata rewards. And of course AVAX. This is the YouTube wallet, which I use for certain things as well. I already pointed down to it a little bit, but on the watch list, I've already played around with it a little bit. So I think this default starts with PNG. So basically you can add some favorites here. I added SEFA and KRA. I also added, or at least tried to add TOS, but it's slightly bugged, so it doesn't load. But you can try and add a couple. And then if you ever want to, trade them, you can just get them from your watch list. So let's say I want to trade Jewel, and I can go straight to the trade screen. Or if I click on this link, I will go to the analytics page, which is still using the old Pangolin design for now. Then on the right, you'll find a nice little news feature, some updates. I think the DGen hour. I didn't watch it live, but I watched it back. So I also saw that Justin also tried to add TOS, and it didn't register. So that's something we both are very interested in. I think Krabata, of course, is a very hot thing going on. Yeah, and I think this is a great way to keep up with the news if you're less into Twitter, Telegram, Discord, but do occasionally want to stay up to date with what's happening. I think this will be a very useful feature for you. Now let's actually get a little bit more into the bread and butter of what Pangolin does, which is being an AMM, being a DEX. If you go here, you see a menu with multiple items. Swap is of course the obvious one for trading, so let's click that real quick. So as you can see, the UI has been completely overhauled. Of course, this box will be the most familiar to people who have been using AMMs before. It's trading one token for another, but it's added some really cool features such as this information. I think USD is quite new to Avalanche, so let's maybe try and select something that has a little bit more history, maybe TOS. Or actually, SAF is a very good indication of it. I think this is so useful, right? Rather than just, how much do they trade for against each other, you also just kind of get what's the price of each asset at the moment, and next to the ratio that you already kind of knew and the 24-hour change. Quite useful information, this chart. I'm not much of a chart person, but I think for some people this will be very useful. It does give me some information about the general trends, right? So I do like having it. I do like using it. And then again, my portfolio is listed down here, and my watch list is listed down here. So I can also probably just press trade here, and it will just update. But what you may not have immediately noticed, you recognize this box, of course, but now you have market and limit order. So as you may know, especially if you've been using centralized exchanges, limit orders are when you basically say, I want to buy this amount of XEVA or sell this amount of AVAX at a certain price whenever we hit that price point. So like, just to give an example, I never sell AVAX, so that's not a good idea. So I'll sell some TUS for UST. UST is Pangolin's new standard stablecoin. So it will typically default to UST as stablecoin. UST, of course, is a decentralized stablecoin that's tied to Luna, which is kind of recently bridging over to Avalanche. I'm quite excited about it. I quite like the lunatics, so happy to be more connected with them. I think they're one of the cooler communities we have around. So yeah, how this works is based on Gelato, by the way. I think it actually directly interfaces with Gelato, so it's just a new UI on top of it. Which, I know I'm going on a tangent here a little bit, but I think it's really cool. I've been, talking with teams throughout last year, and sometimes they're like building solutions where you're just kind of like, yeah, but you could just, take this smart contract, put a different UI on it, and it would also work. And Pangolin has actually done it. They just said, we don't need to build our own limit order solution. We can just leverage one that's there and just put it in our UI. At least that's my understanding. So anyway, let's say I want to sell 50% of my TUS. Okay, so I think these percentages do not work yet. Like I said, we're in beta. I'll let the team know just to make sure that they'll get this right before we go live. So I just manually typed I want to sell, hypothetically, I don't actually probably will not put this order in, 10,000 TUS for a price of 50 cents each, which would result, of course, in 5,000 UST because that's a stable coin. And current price, as you can see, is apparently 0.3. Now there's a Gelato fee, there is some slippage tolerance, there is the minimum received, and if I wanted to put this in, I would just approve the TUS as normal, and then I will place my order. I'm actually just going to do that really quick because I'm not 100% sure if it will take the TUS out of my wallet or if I can just keep it in there when I place this order. All of this looks normal, so let's confirm. Like I said, this is all happening on mainnet, so all of this is real. Transaction submitted, and I can now see my limit order here. Actually, that's really nice. I was wondering where it would show up. Apparently it just opens a new screen, so it's quite flexible in that way. Order still open, of course, because we're not currently near this price. And if I wanted to cancel it, I assume that the transaction still needs to process, but I could just press cancel order here, and that would do it for now. And then I quickly want to see whether I have just approved the spending of my TUS or if I have actually sent it into somewhere. Okay, so the chart for AVAX-USD has loaded in. I had to do a quick search. But yeah, in my portfolio, if I scroll down, I see now that I think I have put in about 3,000 something worth of TUS. So it actually does go into a contract. So it's not like Velox, I think, where you just approve the spending of the token, but it stays in your wallet. So that's a slight difference. So if you ever want access to the TUS back, you can just cancel your order and it will go straight back into your wallet. Then moving onward, if we just go from top to bottom on this little menu, there is buy, which I don't think is live just yet. I think we can imagine that because the legacy Pangolin UI has, I think, a wire integration, this will also be some sort of integration that will allow you to buy and perhaps also sell crypto with a credit card. I know that within the Avalanche ecosystem, that's something we're very focused on to make the UX as easy as possible for people who are not crypto native. They don't want to go through a CX and then send it or bridge it. Just a straight credit card purchase is generally better for them. So I'm pretty sure that's what this is going to be. Then if we go to pool, you can see all the farms that are available on Pangolin. If you're used to AMMs, of course, you know that you can provide liquidity to earn some PNG rewards. or even in this case to use the AVAX farm, which is a super farm, you can get Pangolin, Luna and AVAX. That's some really great rewards. This is a stablecoin farm with 40% APR, so that's pretty wild. If you're still looking to provide some liquidity, I think this is an excellent option. You can get insurances here as well, those are integrated. And as always, if you just want to add liquidity, I think I have some Pangolin and AVAX in my wallet. I'm probably staking on my PNG right now. But yeah, you would just press max or whatever amount. The other part of the amount would just equalize and you can just provide liquidity through here, I imagine. Wait, let's see. I think I have some CRA. So I should be able to add liquidity for this theoretically. Max balance CRA, yeah, equalizes the AVAX amount. I approve the spending of CRA, of course. You never have to approve the spending of AVAX. You would have to approve spending of wrapped AVAX. That's a bit of a complex technical thing, but essentially AVAX is quite safe. Like if you approve a wrapped AVAX in like some shady contract, that's risky, but you don't really have that with AVAX as far as I know. Anyway, approved CRA. So now this supply button will light up in just a moment. And there we go. And we just press supply. All of this looks good. And just confirm with TX. And that transaction is confirmed. And as you can see, this button just changed to stake. If you want to earn rewards on your liquidity rather than only just provide it and run the risk, I guess you still also have to press the stake button. And then of course, I think you'll almost always want to add all your PGL to the pool. Only exception would be if you wanted to use a snowball or yield jack, then you would just take the PGL over to there. I think I will not do this on screen because you're quite used to this probably, but same idea as you just did. Approve the token first and then deposit. And then you will start earning your PNG rewards. I just did it anyway because, 158% APR is nothing to laugh at. If you click the details tab, you actually get some more interesting information. So the swap fee APR is actually quite high, I think, for this pool. Then there's the reward APR. What's in the pool actually in terms of tokens. A little summary about Crocodile, which is really nice. Looks like you can also use this screen to add liquidity and to add tokens to the farm. And I think if I ever want to claim my tokens, I see there's a new tab here, My Pools, where I can claim my rewards, or I imagine in See Details. I also have the withdraw button, with which I can withdraw my liquidity again and take my funds out of the pool. The next thing in the menu is stake. Stake is, I think, always single-sided. You can stake PNG. This is, I think, where all my PNG went at the moment. I have a claim button, so yeah, not bad daily income. I have some PNG staked, as you can see. There's also APIN staking. APIN, it gives a summary here. Ape Metaverse, where DeFi meets NFTs. You can stake PNG and earn APIN income. So that's also interesting if you're interested in that. I think this is basically fairly self-explanatory, especially if you just saw the UI for pools. I think this will be very easy. Next up on the menu is voting. As you know, Pangolin is a DAO. It's completely community owned. Of course, there is a team, but they're voted in. I'm pretty sure you could vote them out if you really want to, but not sure if you get the votes, but you're welcome to try, of course, because that's what the DAO does. All of these look like they are executed, so they do not have any current proposals up. But I imagine that if there's a new proposal, it will show up here. I have a separate video on how the voting process goes. I think that's largely still the same. So if you're really interested in participating, well, first of all, join the Discord because probably that's where most of the discussion happens. But secondly, you can check out the other video just to get an idea of the process. Then finally, there is a Migrate menu. And my understanding for this is that if you have any liquidity in the Pangolin V1 farms, so the old version of the farms, you can use this little button to make your unstaking and restaking a lot easier. It kind of says so here, right? So basically, it does the complex steps for you, so you don't have to manually do every step. I think that's just a great UX feature to make it a lot easier for people to migrate their liquidity and continue earning farming rewards. Then I think we're through the main part of the menu. There's still charts and forum. I think forum just leads to we can open it real quick, both of them. So this is the forum where you can basically have discussions about proposals, for example. Just how a forum works, I think. And charts currently still leading to the old Pangolin UI. basically the analytics tab that you may have been used to with the charts, and you can find all the tokens and the addresses here. So that's basically very simple, I think. And then finally, there are some useful links, such as, for example, to the Avalanche bridge or the satellite bridge from the Axelar network, and a list of their partners. But I think that's enough for this video. I hope it was informative. I hope you enjoy and try out the new Pangolin UI. I do think, you know, it's very clear that people have looked at how people interact with DeFi, how people would like to interact with DeFi, and try to make it as functional as possible, really focused on the user experience. So that's what I was really bullish about when Trader Joe came onto the scene and they said, we'll do it. Now Pangolin kind of came back and said, okay, we're gonna try and do it better. I do think they've got some really cool stuff in here. But yeah, let's call it here for now. Happy anniversary to Pangolin, and almost happy anniversary to me as well for this channel and the Twitter account actually. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you especially if you've been with us for the entire year. If you can hear my cats playing outside, I do apologize. Let's call it here for now. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. And goodbye.